Emergency personnel worked through the night to rescue survivors of a deadly strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Those are people crying to see if they could hear people still buried in the rubble. At least 21 people were killed, dozens others injured after a missile flattened a 9-story apartment block. Russian strikes also hit energy infrastructure across the country, which could, of course, impact the power supply for large parts of the country over the next number of days. Canada announced just this past week that it will buy Ukraine a missile defense system to help defend against these very kinds of attacks. I spoke with Ukraine's ambassador to Canada, Yulia Kovaliv, about the commitment back on Friday. Ambassador Kovaliv, thank you for being here. I appreciate you making the time for us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. I want to start with the announcement this week, obviously a significant announcement for your country, that Canada has purchased a national advanced surface-to-air missile system for Ukraine. Can you give us a sense of how important that is for Ukraine right now at this moment in the war?
We really do appreciate and do value the support of Canadian government and much broader support that Canadian government is providing to Ukraine and Ukrainian people since February 24th, when Putin started the unjustified and unprovoked war against our country. And of course, because of the recent attacks and the missile attacks for the critical infrastructure in Ukraine, that hits a lot of power generation, a lot of power grids, and just many people are now in Ukraine without electricity, without heating, without the water. And air defense is very crucial for us to be able not only to defend the territory, but also to defend the people and to defend their just basic needs as we are living through the cold winter in Ukraine as well. They will help to protect the cities, to protect civilians, and NASAMS is one of the best in the world air defense system, and we do value this big support from the Canadian government.
Have you been given any indication, Ambassador, about when that missile system might arrive?
We are working all together, and we are hoping that it will be coming as soon as it is physically possible. And what assurance we've got that both the Canadian government from our side and from US will put all the efforts to deliver it as quickly as it possible.
As you know, there are a lot of things coming to Ukraine right now. Armored tanks from France, the US, and Germany, Poland, the UK. Some people are viewing this as really a renewed commitment to the fight against Russia in Ukraine. Russia is saying, from its perspective, that this is an escalation, an unnecessary escalation by allies. What is your view?
So the real escalation is what Russia is doing, both since February 21st and even 8 years ago when Russia occupied part of Ukrainian territory in the east and Crimea, and what Russia has been doing for the last few months, attacking civilian infrastructure, missile attacks throughout all of the country. And I personally, when I was 2 weeks ago in Ukraine, I was witnessing this, one of the big missile attacks throughout all of the country, and it's really horrific to sit down in the basement and hearing the rockets and the Shahid drones flying over you. So this is Russia who is escalating, and we do value the response of our partners for the calls of Ukraine to provide us weapons, and it helps us to resist the aggression and also to liberate the territories, as we've done with Kharkiv region, as we've done with Kherson region. And of course the announcement of US for the Patriot system, Canadian government with NASAMS, with armored vehicles, and the Poland with the tanks, it will help us to hold the line and to liberate Ukrainian territory and to win this war.
Do you worry, though, that influx of equipment and tanks and things that you need could be viewed by Russia as an excuse to try and escalate, to go further, to be more violent?
Russia has tried just recently with the conscription of 300,000 soldiers to regain some attacks. There are the heavy fights now around Bakhmut and on the east of Ukraine. Russia is escalating. Like over 2,000 of the missiles already hit Ukrainian cities, and in Kyiv a week ago they hit the hotel in the downtown. So Russia is constantly escalating, and the supply of Ukraine with the needed weapons is just helping Ukraine to restore our territories, to win the war for the sake of not only Ukraine, but also for the sake of rule-based order to prevail in this world.
One of the contributions is coming from Germany, and as you well know, Germany has long tried to maintain a fairly diplomatic relationship with Moscow for all sorts of reasons, energy being a big one. The contribution by Germany and by so many nations right now, what does it indicate to you about what is going on here? Is it allies trying to make a push? How do you read that?
Actually, like if we look on Germany and many other our partners, I would call it the ice breaking, because a lot of kind of the weapons that the government of our partners and allies are supplying us now, we has been asking since February 24th.
Right.
And now we do value this support and this ice breaking, because we all understand and we all want to end this war by the victory of Ukraine, and that is understanding the importance to help Ukraine as we show the cases that we can not only hold the line but succeed on the battlefield. Another thing, it could be that, Russia could consider some attempts to make some further escalations, and that's why Ukraine needs to resist, and Ukraine needs to be well equipped to resist their attempts. And these are the clear signals that our partners and allies are standing firm with Ukraine, as they've declared steadfast support whatever and whatever it takes for as long as it takes. And this is a vivid example and the proof of this commitment, and we do value this commitment.
President Zelensky before Christmas, I guess, was talking about his peace plan, his 10-point peace plan. Is that, as we near this one-year anniversary of the invasion, is that the way forward, you think, what President Zelensky has outlined there?
President Zelensky proposed a peace plan to Ukraine, which includes 10 points, including the restoration of our sovereign borders, including the food security, including the justice that need to prevail, including the environment, because we still have this threat over the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which is the biggest in Europe and which is now under Russian control, with the threat and missiles flying over the nuclear power plant. And this is the showing of Ukraine, how Ukraine sees the victory and the path to the peace. And we welcome our partners who are aligned and who are supportive with this plan as a path forward to end this war with the victory, which is the fair victory.
Ambassador, nice to see you. I do appreciate you coming in and chatting with us today.
Thank you.